Hey guys, so today I'm filming my Hit It or Quit It Thoughts on Hauls number 7. Today I will be reviewing part 2 of my What I Got for Christmas 2013. I will have my Hit It or Quit It playlist linked down below, as well as my original haul video and the part 1 review of this haul. So the part 1 was my MAC and NYX products. Part 2 is Jordana and random products. So a lot of these I don't have here to share with you, but I will still tell you about my thoughts. So guys, before we get into the Jordana products, I do have a get ready with me and a hits and misses on these that I will have linked down below in case you want to check that out. So first, starting with the Jordana products, the first thing I got were 3 Jordana blushes. So the Jordana blushes retail for $2.50. They are quite pigmented, but out of all the blushes in my collection, I just wasn't excited about these, and I had so many more that I would rather use, so I ended up giving all 3 of them to my sister. So I have them here to share with you. The first one is the shade Peach Blossom, which she has hit pan on, which is really exciting, and this is her very first blush, so she's really enjoying it. The other shade I have is Rouge, which is similar to Peach Blossom, except this is a little bit more pink and that is more peach. And then this third shade is Coral Radiance, which actually broke, but these are great pigmented drugstore blushes. But like I said, I wasn't excited to use these, and I had others in my collection, but I'm really happy that I was able to give them to my sister and that she, as you can see, has really enjoyed them. So the next Jordana product was the Fabubrow in Taupe. The consistency in the formula of that brow pencil was awesome. It drew onto brows and skin really well, but it was way too warm for me. Like, I couldn't even work with it, so I ended up throwing that away. But the formula was really nice. I think they have a dark brown shade as well, so I would recommend trying it out if you are a redhead or a brunette, because the formula was nice, but the color just wasn't cutting it for me. So the next thing was the Jordana Brow Powder Shadow in Auburn and Brown. Those shadows were pigmented, but I have never used a shadow with so much fallout. It would get all over my hand, all over my face, and I even tapped off the brush. But if I tapped the brush off too much, then there was no product on the brush. So those are not that great. In my opinion, they did not work well for me. They were nice and pigmented, but the formula just wasn't that good. The next thing I had tried was the Jordana Fabuliner, which is their liquid liner pen in the shade Black. I was not impressed by it. I've heard from some people that have loved it that the newer versions are not as good as the old. I found that it dried up pretty quickly, but also that the tip was too fat and way too stiff. I do not have very crepey lids, but it skipped on my lid like crazy. I've never had a liner skip on me so bad, so that definitely was not worth it for me, which was a bummer because I've heard a lot of people rave about it. So the next Jordana product is the one product that I actually liked, and that was the Jordana Best Lash Extreme Mascara. So this mascara was nice and black. It gave nice thick volume. It is not a holy grail mascara of mine. It isn't even a top 5, but I do think that it is a nice mascara and worth a shot. The next product I tried was the Jordana Made to Last Liquid Liner Pencil in the shade Black Point. I actually gave that to my mom. It was super nice and black, but it did not last on my waterline at all. I don't use pencil liners on my top lash line. I only use them on my lower lash line or my waterline, so it did not stay at all for me, which is a bummer. I've heard that it stays well for other people. I just have extremely watery eyes and oily skin. But if you like to use pencil liner on your upper lash line, I do think that would be a great one. The next product was the Jordana Matte Lipstick in Lavender Lady. That was the worst product by far. It had such a waxy consistency. I couldn't even get any color payoff on my lips. And whatever did come off on my lips was just the most disgusting feeling ever. The color was pretty in the tube, but no, I do not recommend that formula at all. So the next product is the Jordana Twist and Shine Balm Stain in the shade Candied Coral. The Jordana Balm Stain formula is awesome. It has this nice blue raspberry scent to it, which I love. Great pigmentation. I think that the staining effect works really well. So those are another great product, but I actually passed it along because I reached for some other shades more from different lines. And unfortunately, I already had purchased so many of the shades from the Revlon line, and the shade selection from the Revlon and the Jordana was very similar. So there wasn't any shades from the Jordana that I didn't already have, but the formula honestly was awesome. So I would definitely recommend that if you want to try a drugstore balm stain. The last product was the Jordana nail polish in the shade Lavender Fields. This was a good nail polish. I didn't reach for it that much. I ended up giving it away just because it wasn't my favorite. So I'm sorry I had all those negative reviews about the Jordana products. I'm not saying that the company is bad as a whole, but I just was not impressed. So the few things that I would recommend would be the Best Lash Extreme Mascara, the Twist and Shine Balm Stain, the blushes, and the Made to Last Liquid Liner Pencil. So all of the rest of these products are random from a bunch of different brands. So starting with face, first I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in the shade 1W1 Bone. If you guys have seen my Best of Beauty 2014, if you haven't, link down below, then you will know this is my holy grail foundation. This is incredible. I purchased this from a CCO. This is the old formula. The new formula for me is good, but not as holy grail material as this one is, and the color is off. It's a big bummer, but regardless, this one was incredible. The best foundation, the perfect fair color with a yellow undertone, a strong yellow undertone, which is perfect for me, and it gave full coverage, kept me matte, lasted all day. This was the perfect foundation for me. The next product I tried was the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. This is what it looks like when it is dampened. I use this every single day to blend out my under eye concealer. I think it works really well. This also works well with foundation, but I prefer to use a kabuki style brush. But if you want an actual drugstore dupe of the Beauty Blender, check this one out. The shape is not the same, but it still works phenomenally for concealer or foundation. So definitely love this and recommend it. Next, I got some Anastasia brow products. First being the Brow Wiz in Ash Blonde. This is my second one. I have repurchased it and I really love this. I don't use it all the time. I like to save it for special occasions because I don't want to run out of it so quickly. But this has the smallest, most precise point I have ever seen on a brow pencil, and it gives the most sharp definition. I love using this to draw the tail and really square off the front of my brows, as well as line the tops and the bottom. This is an amazing product, totally worth the hype and worth the 20 bucks. The next thing I got was an Ulta exclusive kit. It is the Anastasia Bold Brows Kit, and it came with 3 products. The first one, which I have completely used up, is their clear brow gel. That is holy grail status for me. That is incredible. It is like hairspray for your brows. It lasted me probably 7-8 months, which is really exciting and impressive, I think. I love it. Again, totally worth the money, and I do plan on repurchasing that. So the other 2 products that came in that kit would be a dual-ended brush and their brow powder duo. So the dual-ended brush is called the number 7, and it has an angled side for powder. And it also has a spoolie. I love this brush. I think that this would be a great essential for anyone that does their brows, because having that double-ended is so useful and helpful. This would be great to put in a makeup bag as well if you want to cut down on the amount of brushes that you have. And this is their brow powder duo in the shade Taupe. Now this is their old packaging that comes in this kit. The new packaging is black, but the formula is still the same. I think the colors are super great, but I don't love this formula as much as I like using my MAC eyeshadow, because this is not as pigmented as the MAC shadow, which I like to use the MAC shadow by itself, except using a pencil to kind of define those areas that I mentioned earlier, and then I just cover the whole thing with powder and it works perfectly for me. Not with this powder because it isn't as full coverage. Also, I had been using a wax pencil underneath, and from all the time of going back and forth in between my brow and the powder, it got a weird layer on the top that I've had to scrape off, and I feel like ever since then it kind of messed with the actual consistency of the rest of the powder. So this is nice, but I much prefer my MAC eyeshadow to fill in my brows. But I do love this brush, and I really do love the eyebrow gel, so I do think that this kit is definitely worth the money. The next thing that I had purchased were 3 limited edition Maybelline color tattoos. These are all mattes, and already let you know, I still love these. They were totally worth the money. I was so excited to find these. I found them at my boyfriend's CVS, which was awesome because my CVS sucks. So the first shade I have is number 250 Nude Pink. This is supposed to be a dupe for MAC Painterly Paint Pot. The yellow tone shade is called Just Beige, which is supposed to be a dupe for MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot. And the last one is Matte Brown, which I believe is supposed to be a dupe for MAC Groundwork Paint Pot, but I'm not sure on that one. But this is the one that I have used the most. This is so awesome in the crease. These are such an incredible formula. I do love this matte consistency. I think the consistency of these is a lot better and more opaque than their leather collection, which is a little bit patchy. So definitely do love these, and if you have them, I recommend that you pull them out. I definitely need to use them more. I just always reach for colored bases over nude bases, but they are phenomenal quality. So next, on to some lip products. The first thing would be my e.l.f. Lip Exfoliator, which I absolutely love. It is just a lip scrub in a lipstick tube. It is really easy to use to scrub off the dead skin on your lips. I love this. I have repurchased this a couple different times. A staple for me. The next thing I purchased I don't have here to share with you, and that would be the L'Oreal Extraordinaire Liquid Lipstick in Rose Symphony. That product was just okay. I ended up giving it away. It wasn't a must-have for me. I didn't want any more colors. It had a really awful plasticky fruit taste to it. The color was pretty. It lasted a decent amount of time, but it is not a must-have for me. The next product that I had purchased was the Clinique Chubby Stick in the shade Mega Melon. This was not very pigmented, and I didn't love the color on me, so I did pass that along as well. Next, I have a Revlon Colorburst Lacquer Balm in the shade Coquette, which is a bright, warm pink. I absolutely love this. It does have some shimmer to it, but I quite like it. But this is definitely a hit. The next 3 lip products were some Revlon Colorburst Matte Balms. I have 3 shades here. First one is Elusive, which is a dusty pink. I have Showy, which is a bright bubblegum pink. And I have Unapologetic, which is a hot coral. The last couple products that I have would be the Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, Hard as Wraps Hardener, and the Sally Hansen No Chip Top Coat. Both of those were supposed to be the base coat and top coat to give you at-home gel manicure. They chipped really quickly. They did not work on my nails whatsoever. I don't recommend them. The last thing was a Revlon Parfumery nail polish in the shade Watermint, which is supposed to be a dupe of Deborah Lippmann Mermaid Dream. I only wore this once, but it is a nice formula. I love the bottle. So that is my Hit It or Quit It thoughts on hauls number 7. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you've tried any of these products, please let me know your thoughts in a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.